Hey, kids. That's right. It's me again, Margaret. That's right. It is me again, Margaret. Me. You're not Margaret. So, anyways, got most of it cleared out. We're starting to scrape it all off. Kind of thinking on how I'm going to do this over here. Because the tree bows out, so I want to kind of put that log somewhere in here. Kind of like, yeah, right in here. I can have it straight or kind of cocked right here. I think I'm going to have it kind of cocked right here. And then, thinking. Too much thinking. On how we're going to put these logs up. I've got to have 3 good ones. 3 really, really, really good ones. So, I mean, big. So, we're going to have to measure trees. And up here where I was going to put my my wood ricks, I think I'm going to shove them over here. But we're going to do something a little different with them. Instead of making a stand up, bring my shovel up, and we're going to cut like little steps up. And my wood ricks will be 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 high going up there. So I want to start somewhere between those little trees there and those that little tree that right there. And we'll do a step, then we'll come down after it. I'll level out 16 inches. That way I can put 2 logs there. Come down, cut another step, 16 inches, put 2 logs down there. And then just have a row, a row, a row, and a row. That way I've got all of this from that log down this way. This will be the cabin. I haven't measured it out, but we're gonna here in just a minute, because we need her at least 10 feet. So, right there is it. Oh, we don't have to have 10 feet. We can be kind of close. Let me flop my tape measure back out the way it's supposed to be. Somewhere right around in there. Well, right there is 10 feet, and we're rather close. We can skinny it over here and get a little bit closer. But if I push it out and I put my 10-footer there and go that way, I'll have a little walkway in to get to my wood. So, we're going to be around in here somewhere. Somewhere right around in here. So, I'll be going right down past these. So, somewhere right around in there. Now, as long as I can get up even 5 foot high off the deck. See, I'll cut some of this out, and I'm gonna make between. I'm gonna build it on pillars, just pillars. I'm not gonna put all the rock in here, and what I'll do is I'll backfill dirt. So I'm really not worried about. Because I can backfill dirt, leaves and dirt and leaves and whatever. Just keep packing it down. Just keep packing it down. So we'll be good with that. Oh. And we're getting I'm getting this pile goodered up. We're building that up. One of the next things I kind of got to do before I finish up over here is I got to take this deadfall log out, that deadfall log out, cut that little tree there, and cut this stuff down, put it all over there. Kind of extend my little thing right here. And what it's going to do is it's going to give me a path to get in and out of here with the 4-wheeler. Nope. I don't care if I have to wing it off a little bit up there, but come down here, bring it down. I can kind of park it over there, or I can leave it over here. Plus, this gives me an area to work on logs. I can make like a little sawhorse up there. You put the logs on there. That way you can scratch them off if I want to do that. So, that's what we're doing. I pulled out all these straight logs over here that were down here on the ground. And a lot of them, because they're pretty good, I kind of cut those up for, you know, just firewood, whatever. Trying to save as much wood as I can. This pile right here, because it's not hiding anything. I'm going to move all this over to that pile and this pile. We'll probably extend this pile out a little bit. We'll get it going. But I have all these brambles here that are going to grow up during the summer. So I could hide the four-wheeler back behind here. No biggie. When I come up here. And I'll just keep building this side up over here, and I'll build a little bit up over there, and if I build it high enough, get some branches, some tree branches, and get them hooked up in there, and then just keep throwing leaves and stuff up there, you ain't gonna see it. This over here kind of protects my blind side over there from people looking in. This over here is nothing. I need to move it anyways, because I was just thinking where my cabin's going to be at, it'll end up somewhere right around in there. Right in there. So, and then I can have this all out for a little porch area. Probably 8 foot by 10 foot. Something like that. And we'll just extend that all on. But I'm not going to be bringing that big of logs in here. I don't want to. Say 15 feet plus another 10, 25 footers. No, I'm not doing that. Those get too big. So what I'll do is, I'm trying to figure this all out. I'll put pillars down. 1, 2, 3, like 4 of them. Hold this log. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold that log. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold that log. And then what I'll do is I'll start cutting down some big trees and splitting them up and getting boards. We're going to make them about 2 to 2.5 inches thick. And we're going to square them all off. That way when I stick them together, there's no gaps. They're all the same height. And we'll put the floor in first. Then I'll start with the next log that'll arch over. I think I'm going to do it the same way I did the other one, but I'm going to pin it with wood dowels. So the only thing that I'm going to do with these boards is I'll have to get me a like an impact, a screwdriver impact, and I'll bring up, since the boards are going to be about 2.5 inches thick, 3 to 4 inch screws will be good to screw them down into that log. And I'll make sure that log is nice and straight when I start this out. And then when I go to putting on the next logs on top of that, I'll make sure that I've got to have a like 2 center logs in the middle when I do this. So I will be, I'll cut the logs that go crossways under to stabilize it so it doesn't bounce so much. Actually, it didn't bounce with the other ones. If I make them like 5 foot and 5 foot, that's cool. And then what I can do is I will put the next log on top. Whoop, right? Next log, but I'll chink that all in there, right? So it's all nice and chinked. And it'll be a smaller one. I'll lay that on there, and then the next log that goes up over the top, I just go over there, and it'll be a little bit bigger, come around here. So I'm going to have some big logs on the bottom. Then we're going to graduate them up and make them smaller as we go. But I don't want to get too big. I don't want to get that big, but I'm going to have to on the bottoms. Because if I don't get them that big, then they start to bounce, and I don't want any bounce. So either this is going to take 4 pillars and 4 pillars, or 3 and 3 and 3, depending on how big of logs I want to pull down here. And when I get them ready, what I'll do is I'll run a string line on them, and I'll cut them to where they're flat on the bottom and flat on the top. That way, when I get them going, I will I'll start with the back end and graduate all my floor this way. When I get out here, I don't know what I'm going to do. I may cut on the outside, cut about 3-inch planks, and go along the bottom and just cut them level on the top. Cut them 3 inches, and I don't care about the bottom part of it, but make them about 3 inches and go out and about around, right, to make the outside part of the front porch. And that way, when I come around, I'll build just a little set of stairs off here, like 1 or 2 stairs, maybe, depending on how high up I get this. Maybe 3. I may go up, steal the stairs from up there, or maybe not. I think I'm just going to build this one outright here, and we will get that all going. My wood chopping area is going to be about where my fireplace is. So I will eventually, if it's solid that I'm thinking, I'll cut a big old busted log out of there, stick it right there. And that's where I'm going to be breaking up my wood. That way, when I break it up, it's right there. And when I go to get it, I just come down, I just walk around the front of the cabin, just go down this way, or go around through the rocks, grab it, and come back up. And it doesn't matter. It depends on how close I'm going to put these logs. I'd like to get them pretty close to that rock and away from these trees a little bit. That way I can get my height that I want. That way I'm not messing around with these trees. Because I'm going to keep these trees. 1, 2, 3 of them. I want these trees right here. Because they will build a little shade. Plus, when I come out here, I got a direct shot almost straight up at a squirrel nest. And there's a big squirrel nest over there. There's a few over here. That's one reason why I don't want to cut this down, because it'll upset that tree and the squirrels will leave. But they're all over in these trees over here. So I got squirrels, got chipmunks, got field mice, wood mice, church mice, whatever you want to call them. But we're going to get this all kind of hidden up. I'm still working around on this, thinking I kind of want to get this wood out of the way, and I'll bring the 4-wheeler down and make sure I can get it up and out of here too. Because if I have to bring it around and come up this way, that ain't going to work. I want to go over this way, not this way. It would be great if I could put it right here, because that wouldn't be too bad. I mean, I could angle it off and then go up with it, but I'm going to have my wood pile over here. And that's not too bad of an angle. Some of the roads over here, that's steep, and I can get up them no problem. In 2nd and 3rd gear, so 1st gear I ought to crawl that thing up there. And when I get my 4-wheel drive going, it'll crawl even better. So, I think the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to stop with this for the minute, cut this stuff out of here, and bring the 4-wheeler down. That way, I can just pack up my shit and go. I'm going to come down after I clear up all this stuff, bring it down, then I'll ride it back up, and then I'll ride it back down. I want to make sure that I can get up and down. So, I think that's what I'm going to do next there, children, because I want my four-wheeler down here. I don't like it sitting up there. All right, kids. In the meantime, see ya.